If you're looking forward to voting on December 7, 2024, then you need to go get a voter's card if you don't have a voter's card. That is a message from the Electoral Commission through us here, the media, to you. And that is our focus on the Citiuation Room today on Citi TV. My name is Umar Rusanda Amado, and I'm here with
Sami Wiafe.
And you're looking very, is that orange?
Yeah, orange. I know you're colorblind. But it's orange.
Says you. Is this blue or white? Is this blue or white?
It's blue.
Oh,
sea blue.
It's not sea blue.
But what?
This is off blue.
Oh, okay, I hear you. Thanks for the education.
It's a color of situation. This is sea blue.
So let's do situation. Limited voter registration exercise.
That's what we are focusing on today. Why are you cutting me?
The issue started on...
How is the president doing?
The issue started on Monday, right?
Sami Wiafe, how is the president?
He's well.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He said he won't give us the SML reports.
Of course. He quoted some sections of the RTI law.
Act.
Which says that indeed there are some portions which may not be disclosed to the public. But my understanding of my information is that before the close of this week, the president will make it public. He wants to make it public.
Oh, so they're saying to us that on the law, I am not allowed to.
Yes.
But it's a discretion.
It's a discretion.
And so I wish to share it with you.
I'm reliably informed that by close of the week, he will make the full report public. Already, he's made some recommendations, and those recommendations, the GRA are acting on those recommendations. So he feels that there's nothing really to hide as far as that report is concerned. So I'm reliably informed by close of this week, the report will be made public. Yeah.
So wait to see what happens. This is the Citiuation Room on Citi TV. We'll take a break and come back and tell you the key things that we're looking at here on the show. You're welcome back. This is the Citiuation Room on Citi TV. Sami, do you remember the year you first had your voter's card?
That was in 2004.
Are you sure it's not 94?
No. It was 2004.
But you voted during the...
That was the first time I voted was in 2004.
2004.
Yeah.
So you registered before 2004?
Yes.
Oh boy. So I registered in 2005.
Okay.
So my first time voting was 2008.
Okay.
And I remember I was in secondary school. We went out the small gate, Committee 5, went to register. And I think that was a mass registration. I don't remember. This particular registration that is happening is for people who have just turned 18, who have never voted, or people who are older than 18, but they've never had a card, or they don't have a voter's card. So the Electoral Commission is saying that if you don't have a voter's card and you want to have a voter's card so you can vote, please come to their registration centers. However, they've limited it only to their district offices. And that has become the subject of controversy. I saw a video yesterday on Instagram where the MPP parliamentary candidate for Kole Klote, Valentino Ninoy, was distributing yogurt to people at the registration center. And incidentally, the registration center for that constituency is the old EC building. So I saw him distributing, and I was watching the comments under. People were attacking him. Others were also saying, these people are seated there, they are under the sun, so they have to be fed. And so if the parliamentary candidate thinks that this is what he wants to do is good. But I've looked at the thing. I have interviewed the EC people, but I'm just wondering, if it is our money that we use to do the registration, just allow the thing to be everywhere. Let everybody go and register. I don't know if you agree with me or you think it is okay that they have it controlled in their district offices. What's your view?
I feel doing it in their office is the best. The reason is that that's where the equipment are. That's where all the EC stuff are. And so for you to have it, just go to our center and we get it registered for you. If there's a problem, we can sort it out for you in our center. Remember, the EC says that they are targeting only about 600,000 people in this way. So it's not more or less like the mass where everybody is coming in, where there's a new voter register and everything all together. This one, they're just doing only a limited number of 600,000. Now, 600,000, if you say you want to do it only in their offices, it's manageable compared to where it's a clean sheet, where we are registering everybody all together. That will be the problem when you do it in their offices, in the district and in the assemblies. But if it's a limited number, less than 1 million, and they are doing it in their offices, I'm sure the EC is in a better position to manage it that way than to do it on a mass scale where you say fresh registration for everybody. But so I feel doing it in their offices is the best. They are able to manage it. Though the crowd, the numbers are there, the politicians are taking advantage of it. The same way as you mentioned, Valentino, distributing. He's a politician. He has a major stake in what is happening. This will determine whether he becomes MP for Kole Klote or not. And so he must do everything within his power to ensure that the people are very well satisfied they are not stressed out enough, and in a better way to help them ease the process.
But see, the problem is that, so for constituencies that have their capitals very far, and I always use mine, which is unfair, but Shai Osudogo always say that it's two traditional areas, and if you are from Tokpo, for instance, which is a place we went to do the relief items, the distance from Tokpo to Dodowa is already far. Now, that is compounded even further by the poor quality of the road or the lack of road on that particular stretch. So on your own, you cannot spend so much money. I'm sure if you're moving from Tokpo to Dodowa, it will cost you close to 100 cities, maybe 50 cities above.
Oh, wow, that is that far?
Yeah, because you have to take Okada, I'm sure you have to move from one place to another. Or it's possible you have to even go through Ningo Prampram district to come through Ashaiman and then take a car to Dodowa. That is one way. Or you take a car to Asuchare, take a car, a motor there, take a car from there to Akuse Junction. From there you move to Somanya, go to Dodowa. It's too long and winding. I'm sure the same thing applies to so many other districts. I don't know what your district is. What you are in?
I also West Ogun.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about your home district.
My home district. That's cool.
So Kwewu, I don't know. I don't know how vast that district is. But there's so many districts like that. If you go to the north, Sola, Tuna, Kalba, those are three traditional areas that have been given one district. The capital could be at Tuna or Sola or Kalba. I'm not sure where. But the distance there, so geographically, is already far. The road network is horrible. Now, what happens is that political parties have brought buses to these areas and are saying to people that if you want to register, you join us. So there's an NDC bus and there's an MPP bus. So when you are joining, you know what you are doing. So even up initial, you are already tagged. Even if you don't want to be tagged, you are tagged. Now, if you don't want to be tagged, then you have to go on your own. But who really wants to do that? Because you're going to spend a lot of money and resources. Then you get to the center. You have to go with, for instance, a guarantor. If you don't have all those documents, you have to go with 2 guarantors. So imagine you're traveling with 2 guarantors. You have to pay for them. You have to feed them. All because of one voter's card. One because of one vote. Now, people always, you know that there are people who get voters' cards just for national ID purposes. But now we have Ghana card.
Now we have Ghana card.
We have passport. So people may decide, oh, Charlie, I don't even need it. So I'm really concerned about voter apathy.
And already, there are people who are losing interest in this whole electoral cycle thing. Already people are angry with this whole election thing because they feel after years of voting, they don't see any significant development within their area. So after all, there's apathy in this area. Secondly, a lot of people have criticized the EC when it comes to publicity as far as this limited voter registration is concerned. They feel that the sensitization has been very low. A lot of people have not even heard that the EC is carrying out such an exercise. And so publicity, one, is low. And as you just mentioned, the Ghana card has now become the main ID card for almost every transaction. And so if the person has a Ghana card, what is the interest? What is the zeal for him or her to go and queue in long queue? And even if you're not lucky, you may not even get registered within that day. You may go and come back the next day.
With your 2 guarantors.
With your 2 guarantors, which you mentioned about the cost. So a lot of people have said that the EC has made publicity very low on this particular matter, and the incoming or the coming of the Ghana card has even worsened the situation. And so if the EC can do anything about it, they must whip up the sentiment for people who've turned 18 or who go on to get their card or have a major say on who becomes president and who becomes member of parliament to get them to go and register in their various district offices.
Sami, people who have just turned 18 are secondary school students. I mean, first of all, how much interest do they have in our governance issues or in our politics? That's one. 2, the cost involved in going to get registered, the stress. Charlie, instead of going there to go and spend that, he'll go and video himself dancing on TikTok. It is more helpful. Now, my point for saying all these things is that I want the registration to be brought to as close as possible. Okay, if you can't even do it at polling centers, then do it at electoral areas. So every constituency has a number of electoral areas. So do it at the capital of the electoral area or something. So that if we went to Ayawaso West Wogon, I'm sure there will be an electoral area around where they did where Hansen Dems were hiding. That's cool.
Bauleshi. So there's Bauleshi, there's Jolu, there's Ablenpe, all these areas.
So that if you are in Ayawaso West, right now Ayawaso West people, they have to come all the way to the EC office here to register. You should have one at Abelinkpa, one at Jolu, one at Bauleshi. Let people go and register there. If we're talking about this constituency, there should be Tesano, there should be Abeka, there should be, Abeka Junction. All those, there should be vantage points so that you don't have to move that far from your home Me, I'm really concerned about the moving farm, because the reason for the issue is that someone is a farmer. They have to go to the farm. Now, if he has to go to the farm in the morning, he'll come back late in the evening. He can easily go behind his house where a polling station is. He can go and vote there.
Yeah.
So the same with getting the card. He can go and quickly do that and go to his farm. Or he has to take animals to the bush if he's a herdsman. Or he has to go and nurse his I don't know, he could do anything. Now, he has only 30 minutes window. Does he really have that time to go for that work that he has to go and do? He's a laborer, he's a carpenter, he's a mason. He has to go and build, he has to go and do pongpo. And you are telling him that he should quit all of that and come and go there, sit in a bus and travel long journey to go and register.
The more reason why the political parties have taken advantage of the situation to buzz the people to these centers. Now the political parties will entice these people with money. That when you get into the bus, we will pay you.
Yeah.
We will give you money for you to go and register.
So vote buying started already.
It started on the ground.
Even before you get a card, you have been bought.
Because I know very well how the political parties are very much involved in this and are paying people and are busing them to go and register. So already it starts from the ground. If the EC had done as you have mentioned, I'm not sure the parties will take advantage of it. But because the EC has not done as you have mentioned, the parties,
avenue is there.
Yes, so the gap is there, the lacuna is there. The political parties will always take advantage of the situation, and that's what we are seeing across the country.
This is the Situation Room on Citi TV. Sami, Wiafi, and myself, just a pet peeve on the registration that's happening. We have been gauging the mood nationwide. So the exercise started on Tuesday. We've been picking reports across. We want to go to the Western region, what Akwesi Ejenim filed for us on that day, because there are so many challenges that came up, network challenges and all of that. Let's hear from Akwesi Ejenim, our correspondent in the Western region, who put together this report on the registration so far.
In the Western region, the Electoral Commission's limited registration exercise for persons who have attained the age of 18 is happening in all the EC's regional and district offices. In addition to that is the creation of 2 centers at the Takwa Technical University campus and that of the University of Mines and Technology in Takwa to allow university students easily participate. The regional EC boss, speaking to Citi News, admitted that the region also suffered delays due to the technical challenges recorded widely.
It was nationwide. So as at 9, we had not been able to do what activity that we're supposed to do. But as we speak now, everything has been resolved and applicants have been registered and cards have been issued out. We thank God that it didn't keep us for the whole day, but everything has been resolved and we are registering. But like you are saying, you see that now we are on the university campus, TTU. Now we will set up a place, apart from the movement team that are approved areas, the universities in the Western region were also given opportunity for students to register. So they are staying here for 3 days, from the 7th to on the 9th. Then we have the UMAT, Takwa. They also have the same opportunity that students will not miss lectures. So whilst they are on campus, you take the opportunity also to register whilst their studies is also ongoing. But we are saying that if you are not 18 years, please don't. Let us make sure that we are 18 years. If even it's 1 day to 18, we are not eligible to register.
At the Takwa Technical University Registration Center, where there was a large crowd due to the delay, the registration supervisor said the situation was compounded by the intrusion of residents to the TTU center meant for just students.
This center was set up purposely for TTU students, so that students will not queue in the regional office or district office for the registration. But unfortunately, it seems the education didn't go down well with the party members or whatever. So the town folks are all here today. So we are trying to streamline that situation so that the coming days we make sure it will be strictly for TTU students.
For Citi News, I'm Akwesi Ejenim, Takrady.
So that's a story from Takrady, the Western region. Akwesi Ejenim, they're summarizing for us events on the first day. In the Greater Accra region, we went to the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, Sami Wiafi's constituency. Hopefully one day he will become their MP. And Citi News is his namesake, Samuel Akon, is the one who went to cover the constituency for us.
On day one of the exercise, internet and technical disruptions mar the registration process, causing frustrations among registrants. Day two has not been any different, as registrants continue to be stranded and frustrated due to internet disruptions at the Electoral Commission's old headquarters, where registration is ongoing for persons within Ayawaso West, East, North, and Central constituencies.
I got here around 8 in the morning, and we've just been standing here because we heard the machines aren't working at the moment. So we are still waiting. It's very worrying because we all have a lot of things to do. We can't just be standing here the whole day doing nothing.
It's been stressful because people got here a bit earlier and then they've not been able to register and they've not gotten their cards too. It's worrying because thinking of the fact that you won't be able to vote without the card, it's a bit worrying. And thinking of how other people have left their businesses and stuff to come here too.
Party executives from the two leading political parties, that is the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party, expressed their frustration and hinted at how the challenges facing the registration are affecting their finances.
It's worrying. It's very worrisome. Like I said, even the children that we brought, some are going back. And some of the children, they were here since 6 a.m. And they are still here. It hasn't even gotten to their turn to register. Yeah, you have to send them back home. The next day, they don't even know their fate. When they come, they're going to be registered. So yesterday, for instance, those who came, 50% left. And today, they didn't even come.
You know, you have to facilitate the children, their transportation to this place. And when they come, you must feed them. So looking at it this way, somebody comes here in the morning, the network is off, he or she cannot go through the process. You must still keep the person. As you keep the person, you must feed the person. So it is having a bigger problem on the finances of the party at the constituency level and the national as well.
So that's Samuel Akon's report from the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency in Accra. It was voiced by Emmanuel Opong of the Citi newsroom. So number of issues coming up, network challenges, and a few other issues that have come up since the registration started. Now, the Electoral Commission has been issuing series of press releases responding to these issues. And also, there's been an interview that has been granted. The EC itself did a press conference before the registration, and on the day of the registration, we spoke to the Director of Electoral Service. We'll be bringing you that soundbite in a bit. But before then, let's see whether things have changed 3 days on. Hafiz Tijani is our correspondent in the Ashanti region. Hafiz, so today is what, day 3, is it? Or yeah, this should be day 3 of the exercise. What's the overview so far?
Well, so across most of the centers, the Electoral Commission has directed its officials to take to the offline, and that is what is being done across most of the centers. I'm currently at the Atupa district office of the Electoral Commission, where the registration is ongoing. So the officer here told me that the offline mode is rather healthy than what they were experiencing in terms of the network instability 3 days ago. So the first day and the second day, they had experienced a number of challenges in terms of the network issue. But today, the officers are saying they are able to go about the process smoothly because they are using the offline mode. So when you visit the various centers, that is the response, or that is the feel you have in terms of the exercise. The offices of the Electoral Commission, at the regional office, we have about 8 district offices there, and the process is ongoing. So they are using the offline. Some still have challenges across some of the centers, but at the Aspa district office, the officers they are telling me that the offline system is working effectively for them because they are able to register more than the 2 days of the exercise where they face some technical issues.
Okay, Hafiz, it means that the network issue is really a big one, and this offline matter is also a big issue. So if they are operating offline, can you explain what that means? Have they explained that to people, and what does it mean? Because there was this report earlier that you could be issued a card, but there's no data on the card. So on election day, you may not be able to vote with it because the information is yet to be inputted into the system.
Well, so you know that when you come, they write everything on paper. They write every information of the registrant on paper. So with the network they were using 3 days ago, or from the first day to today, they were inputting the information of the registrant directly into the network or the system, the database of the Electoral Commission. But today, what they do is that they write everything on paper, and when they issue the card, they print out the card and give it to the registrant. Later, they are able to transfer all the data onto the server so that it can capture every detail of the registrant. So that is what is being done here. So the officers are saying that because they are using this mode, they are able to register several other registrants or more registrants who are coming here at the center than what was being experienced 3 days ago. So the first day, they encountered some challenges and they were not able to register targeted numbers on the first day. On the second day, the same thing happened. But today, because they have switched, they are able to register many people who are coming there to have their registration. So that is what the officers are saying. At other places who are still trying to use both the online and the offline, they still face challenge with the system because they are using both. So at places also that they try to use both systems, if it's not working, they just try and use the offline so that they can register as many as people who are coming there. Some district offices at the regional office of the Electoral Commission, some of the registrants had to leave the place because they couldn't get the officers could not go through the online registration, and with the offline registration, some of the registrants are also saying they cannot wait because they are not able to join the queue and wait for that long. So many of them are saying that they will have to go and come back on Monday to continue the process.
I know that the registration is supposed to happen at district offices of EC. Where you are looks to me like a school. It looks like a voting center. Where exactly are you? And I've seen people sitting in two groups. A group sitting up there on chairs, and I see them moving. It's like a queue. Then a group sitting under the tree. What is the procedure there? Can you walk us through briefly and where you are?
So the procedure is that when you come, you have to first join the queue, and you are taken through the process to go and get your data to be inputted by an officer of the Electoral Commission. Then from that place, you go and do your biometrics. That is where the fingerprints are taken. Then you be ushered into a room where your picture will be captured. So there's someone who is in charge or responsible for that who would take the picture of the applicant. So those in this queue are being divided here, and they are going into the office, or they are going to the officers who will be taking their initial details before they will continue with the process. Other people who are seated under the tree, some of them are guardians who have brought in their work or escorted them to come and register or do the registration. And others also are reps of various political parties who are also interested parties in the registration exercise. And they have come also to monitor the process. Mind you, so the Electoral Commission says there's no backing of people here, but the political parties also say that they are only complementing the efforts of the Electoral Commission to get targeted numbers of people who are coming to these centers. So they are taking advantage in conjunction with various assembly members from the respective electoral areas to use these areas to bring these registrants to the centers. So these are the people you see here at this particular registration. administrative sector, particularly the Aspa district office of the Electoral Commission.
So you're in Asqua. I don't know how, is Asqua a municipal or as in a township, a big township, or does it have rural areas? Do you need to put people in buses and bring them to the center, or people can generally just walk around to the center?
So Aspa is a municipal, but because of the nature of the area that here at Aspa, people would have to come all the way from Inyate, people would have to come all the way from Afghanistan to register. Most of whom are not able to go through the process or to come on their own. So the political parties are also taking advantage. So let me get a feel of what is happening here at the center for you. So that is what we find there at the office. So because most of them stay far from the area, the political parties are helping them to bring them here. So you can see some of the registrants who are in the queue, and the officers are going through. They are seated patiently, waiting for their turn to go to this officer here who is inputting their initial details before they can proceed to the next stage of the registration, where their biometric data will be captured and also the pictures will be taken. So the officer here will take the details, and you can see also this is where the guarantor system is working. So people who are coming about other applicants who, one way or the other, do not have the spied or the completed document to go about the registration, they are also able to help here. So parents and guardians are also here helping their work friends. A number of the applicants are also here trying to go through the process. And I must tell you, there's also security here to ensure order. So that is what is happening.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hafiz Tijani, giving us that report from the Asqua constituency in the Ashanti region, where he's reporting from. It is one of the key centers where people have showed up to vote. Sami, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll let the Electoral Commission respond to some of these issues. And then we'll hear from the political parties too, what the assessment has been so far. Stay with us. This is the Citiuation Room on Citi TV. This is Citi TV. We're broadcasting from number 5 Ola Hansen Lane at Tesano in Accra, Ghana. My name is Umaru Sandamado, and I'm here with Sami Wiafi. We are bringing you Citiuation Room. It's a show that we bring you every Thursday, do a content analysis of a number of issues around our elections and politics, the current affairs matters that are very important for you ahead of election 2024. We are counting down to the December polls, and ahead of the December polls, you cannot take part if you don't have a valid voters registered voters card, which card is now being issued to people who do not have them and people who have just qualified to earn them, those who have just turned 18. We've been hearing from Hafiz Tijani, our correspondent in the Ashanti region, cataloging for us the issues that have arisen from there. Earlier we heard from Akwesi J. Nims in the Western region. He told us what happened there when the registration started. We also came to Accra and heard from Samuel Akon's report in the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency. On Tuesday, I sat with the Director of Electoral Services of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Sribo Kweku, and put some of the questions to him about this registration. It's on the show called Face to Face. It airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. We've just cut this excerpt for you to see what transpired. I have some questions coming from our reporters who are observing, and I want to read some of them for you. There have been a number of areas where they had challenges with the network. This is what one of our reporters reported. What have you received so far?
In the morning, we were having this feedback, but now I'm told that almost all the challenges have been addressed.
So network issues are out?
Network, yes.
Okay.
In the morning, they were there, but before I came here, almost all of them have been addressed.
When you say network, earlier you were explaining to me that a network is not our internet network. What kind of network is it?
No, the system uses, for example, those who are going outside their district capital, they have to use they're using the Turbonet to link to the system. Right? Yes.
So that's internet?
No, not internet. It's just...
Turbonet is internet.
Okay, well.
But
what I mean is that you cannot go on, and you can't take your laptop and so that because internet you are there to do, that's what I meant. So you have to be within our system.
Okay, so internet connectivity, you have a wide area network kind of thing, or
yes.
I don't know.
I think it's data, not internet. I don't know. I don't know how we want to do. It's the data.
Okay.
It's the data.
So it's a mobile telephony network data.
Yes.
So in some of the areas you were not getting reception or network.
Exactly.
That's what you were getting.
And the system were. I don't know what.
Have you tried to diversify your internet services?
No. What we did was that we asked the various officers to identify the most reliable
network
system.
Service provider.
So they provided the system. Then we went.
So every area will get what they ask for.
Exactly so.
Okay. How about your laptops? Their batteries, the power issues, and all that.
So our laptop at the offices, we have the electricity and the rest, and we have also requested for generators. So in case we are having challenges with electricity, you resort to the generators.
So this your generator thing is for all your district offices?
Yes.
That's a lot of money you have gone to spend to hire generators.
Election is expensive.
But did you budget for that? Because when you were sending your budget to Parliament early this year...
Whenever we are doing registration, we budget for possible usage of generators.
Okay, I was thinking you had to do this now because of doing so.
No, since 95 we have been using generators.
So it's not because of...
So at times you hire the generator, but you
don't use it.
Yes.
Then don't pay.
Why wouldn't you pay? You come and hire it from me.
So buy generators.
Commission should buy...
or buy plants.
Well, look at the quantity and multiply by the cost of buying a plant.
Yes, serious.
I am an economist. We try to make use of effective use of resources. You go and buy a plant, and maybe for registration, the whole 4 years you will not use it. But cost is there.
Okay. So when people show up at the registration, these are your devices that you use. What about overheating and those technical issues? You don't receive those matters?
We don't. Unfortunately, we are using not less than 2 at a center, and you have space. So that in case you are having challenges, you just replace it with a space.
So every center has 2?
Some have two, some have 3.
Why?
That is the official usage, but they have the same number as space. Okay. Well, the criteria was that those who registered less than 4,000 in the 2023, let's give them the two machines. But those who registered more than 4,000, you give them 3 machines.
Do you have an estimated number of people you expect to register this year?
By the statistical service, about 450,000 people turn 18 every year. Then we are also expecting that some people who are 18 years
but have not registered
will also attempt. So we are targeting around 623,000.
623,000. So more than 500,000.
Yes. Because the last one was 900,000. So we just computed about around 70%.
The last one, so you expected the last one to be more than this one. And
yes.
The last one, you overshot it by what?
That one we had then, the last one was for 2021, 22 and 23. This one's for only 2024.
Okay.
In addition to some...
Do you expect that what percentage of that do you expect to have people registering?
That's what we look at the
so 600-something thousand.
That's what we are expecting to register.
No, that's the total number that you...
Exactly.
But what percentage are you expecting?
That's the figure.
That's the figure.
It's 70% of the 2023.
Oh, okay, okay. So it could be more, it could be less.
Exactly. So.
Okay. Another issue, they said delay in voter registration. Have you received complaints like that?
Above from where the network was down, we don't know what they meant by. The issue is that if you go there and you have the Ghana card or passport, it's very fast for you. But if you go there with the guarantors, we need to interview the guarantor, how he knows you, and what. So through guarantor, you alone, you have to do. In addition to that, you have to fill the guarantor forms. So if you are going there with guarantor, you automatically will delay the process as compared to somebody who wants the passport and.
What about challenge?
That is the challenge in terms of the process.
No, someone challenging someone.
About the process.
Yes.
The law is that if somebody comes there, as I said, the constitution says Ghanaians 18 years and above. So you have to be a Ghanaian. You have to be at least 18 years and you should be of sound mind. So if anybody thinks that you are not a Ghanaian or you are not 18 years, or you are not of sound mind,
they can challenge you.
The person can challenge you. And the challenge process is that don't go and physically challenge the person.
Okay.
Just inform our officer. The lady who is standing there, I know that is not a Ghanaian. Then the officer will tell the lady, they are saying you are not a Ghanaian. He said, oh, I am. In that case, Do you still want to register? Say, yes, I'm again, I will register. Then the person will have to fill the challenge form. So they will appear before the registration review committee for adjudication.
So, but the person will be given his card?
No, once you challenge, you go through the process, but you'll not be given a card. It's only when you have been cleared that your card will be given to you.
Okay. One story coming from Eastern Region. The MP for Manya Krobo, Lower Manya Krobo, he's saying that applicants will soon begin asking for food. He says that the story says the Member of Parliament for Lower Manya Krobo, constituency Ebenezer Oklete, he's a former deputy minister. He says the technical challenges being encountered at various registration centres will begin to put undue pressure on members of Parliament and other stakeholders who transported new applicants from villages to district offices. How do you deal with such a situation? You are making them lose money, but they have to pay and get their food.
Maybe the commission did not ask anybody to convey anybody.
But they are helping.
But they are, yes, that, you didn't allow me to conclude.
Okay.
So if they want to facilitate people's registration, these are some of the possible costs that.
You're still watching Citiuation Room on Citi TV. You just heard the Director of Electoral Service, Electoral Commission, Dr. Kwaku, explaining some challenges the EC has to go through on day 1, day 2 of the voter registration exercise. As you are aware, the political parties have a major role to play. They have a major interest in all this voter registration exercise currently underway. We'll get their take on what is happening. I think 3 days since registration started, what have they been observing? What do they have to say? Would they have any advice for the EC as far as improvements and other concerns matter? Let's go on to Zoom and speak to Mustafa Gbande. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC in charge of operations. He will speak to us on these matters. Mustafa, thank you very much for your time. I can see you sitting in the car. I'm sure you are going rounds. Where have you been so far? What has been your observation?
Well, good afternoon to our listeners. Because MPP is mischievous, I try to hide my locations a bit, but I'm on tour. I'm actually touring the country, supervising and monitoring what the registration process is, and also noting all the avoidable technical challenges that we are recording in terms of the difficulties that people would have to go through, in terms of the difficulties that the officers of the Electoral Commission are currently going through, and then the totality of the exercise. So far, I think that Electoral Commission would have to set up to avert what is happening. Because the assumption is that we've done registration time on time, and that if we're learning from the work, the Electoral Commission would have actually been prepared for this exercise way ahead of time. We do know that they don't have direct control over network issues, but something could have been done on it. When it comes to machines, we have places where they have changed machines 6 times, 5 times, 4 times at other places. Why are we not getting efficient machines so that we would not have to take people who want to register, whose responsibility is this exercise, by constitution is only to make themselves available to get registered in order to vote. We have young people who would have to sit at polling stations, registration centers from morning to evening, and they cannot be registered. They have to go home and come back the following day. The obvious question will be, who is feeding these people? And if it is the political parties who are trying to support these people to be fed while they are seated at the registration centers, is it sustainable? And who transport them back to the registration centers? At the end of the day, most of these people are not going to come again, because the Electoral Commission has made it obvious for prevailing systemic challenges that makes it impossible for the Ghanaian to get registered, and that in itself is a breach of the constitutional requirement and responsibility of the Electoral Commission.
Mustafa,
that is the difficulty we currently have.
Mustafa, hold on for me. Just a quick one, intervention. It's supposed to be 21 days, 3 weeks exercise. The EC has just done day 1, day 2, day 3. Is it not too early to criticize them on how matters, or they are running matters? Is it not too early, 21 days and just 3 days, you are more or less criticizing them about this whole thing?
No, it is even too late to criticize because it is too early for us to encounter the challenges we have.
Yes,
3 days into a 21.
His voice is the network is bad at his side.
Hello?
Mustafa, go ahead. Mustafa, go ahead.
I'm saying that if an exercise is supposed to be 21 days, 3 days into the exercise, we are already having challenges. Is it not too early for us to go through these challenges? And then if you look at generally across the country, the stakes are very high. Ghanaians are very ready and interested in registering. The commission that is mandated to ensure that it makes itself available in terms of logistics and equipment to register these people are not able to do so. As we speak, we have had to switch across the country from online to offline. The offline brings its own challenges. It allows for data loss during the synchronization. It also allows for a lot of data maneuvering during synchronization. And so the easiest and obvious was for us to still do the online option, which Electoral Commission is unable to provide such services. So I think that it's even too late. We should have criticized the Electoral Commission before the exercise started so that they give us the assurance that everything is in order.
Okay,
now the Commission assured us.
Mustafa, just hold on. Just hold on. Let me speak to your counterpart in the MPP. He's also on the line, Dr. Mustafa and Dr. Haruna Mohammed. Doc, you had your counterpart in there. What has been the observation for the MPP so far, 3 days into this whole registration? You think the EC has not done a good job?
Thank you very much, Sami. It's hardly I hear you because it looks like there is voice interruption in your at your end there. However, for us at the MPP, the start of this process has been introduced with technical challenges, network issues, and what have you. We expected to have been a very smooth start of a process has not been the same. From the first day, there was so much challenges across the country. We had made an internal report on that as political parties. Yeah. There has been a very quick response from the Electoral Commission, and something has been done. Yesterday, the second day, there was some work that was done, and it seems to be very stable. Today, it has also been good. We do know that systems cannot be perfect in an entire period. There is no perfect system anywhere. But we also indulge on the Electoral Commission to make sure that these machines are looked at on different occasions to ensure that it is very effectively done for us. If you look at the 2023, the first day that this registration was done in 2023, cumulatively in the first day, it was about 12,000 that was registered in a day. This one, I think in the first day, even with the difficulties, 17,000 was registered. It means that there has been some improvement due to the introduction of other polling centers of the 875 or so, or is it 785 polling electoral areas that was identified, and then 25 universities, campuses that have been introduced in terms of this particular conduct. There has been some improvement, but it is not something that we require that it is very effective enough. There is something that has to do with that. My brother is talking about they should changing of machines and here and there could affect data loss and all those things. Yeah, these are things that we all think that we should work at. But to ask that they should do procurement, we all know the procurement laws are very strict, and Electoral Commission cannot procure any BVR at this particular material movement to supplement. And that is why they have been able to replace some of these machines. And time in the past, we make complaints, the Electoral Commission doesn't even have the machine to replace. But in these particular circumstances, the Electoral Commission is able to replace. What we only call on them to make sure is that the IT officers should be proactive enough to be able to provide constant and instant on-the-feet service to make sure that these machines functions very well.
Dr. Anna, the argument has been that the EC could have, decentralized this whole registration exercise. Instead of, doing it in their district offices, you could have done it in electoral areas, so there's a bit of less pressure in their offices. You think these arguments are anything to go by?
This is not something that we have to debate. All of us would have wished that this was done at every polling station and every electoral area. But the EC chose their offices for it to be done with the push of the parties. Some electoral areas were identified as hard to reach, and then some university campuses were also established for this. From 2023 to today, we have been able, or we are successful to have added these hard to reach areas. And I believe that it is not a debatable matter. But if you read carefully the CI 91 and CI 126, you see that it is the duty of the Electoral Commission to designate centers for registration. And the Electoral Commission has done so and gazetted them as the law has so established for them to do. So we would have wished to have it expanded, but this is what we have, and we have to do with what we have.
Doc, finally, before I let you go, there's a saying, or there are sentiments that can't we have a year-round registration where when anybody turns 18 years old, the person can just walk into an office of the Electoral Commission and register, than always camping people during election years for registration to take place?
Sammy, I can't hear the question. It's breaking. When you are talking, it breaks. But when my brother was talking, it was very clear. So I don't know whether it is a system that is requiring that. I have not heard.
Let me try again. There are people who have said that can't we have a continuous system of registration where when you turn 18 years old, you can just walk into the office of the Electoral Commission and register because automatically you are 18 years old, than to wait every election year and get people, go and register in every election year?
Yes, you are a good questioner, but you've questioned the wrong question, because this question should have gone to the NDC, because they are the people that have kicked against the new CI that was laid before Parliament, which included that the current CI indicates that there should be a continuous registration. If you read carefully the current CI 91, if you read, I can't mention the specific regulation number, but it is indicated that there must be a continuous registration, and it is enshrined in the CI 91. So if the Electoral Commission so wish to have sent in such a process for Parliament to deliberate on that, then this matter should have been looked at and then being resolved. But the minority in Parliament went against it, and then this bill had to be withdrawn and relook at and relayed before Parliament.
Doc, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Let me go back and speak to Mustafa. I know you are busy, you're on the road, but then let me put the same question to you as I put to Dr. Hauna.
But Sami, I want to thank him, because the last time we spoke, I told him that he has continued to position himself as a Deputy General Secretary in Accra. I can see that he has moved into the field and he is doing some kind of work. I appreciate that he has taken my advice very seriously, and he's doing the work in the field. Thank you. Kudos to you, Bandi, and we'll meet again.
I'm sure he's heard you. Mustafa, before that interjection, let me also ask you the same question. Is it true that indeed your party rejected that particular move to get a continuous registration? I mean, your party in Parliament, which is the minority, when the CI came before the House?
Yes, it was rejected because they deliberately planted certain things in the CI which were practically impossible, violating the Constitution as far as human right is concerned. And so Parliament as a body could not have passed a bill full of practical, unconstitutionality, because what they wanted to do, to restrict people from using guarantor system and all of that, were practical impossibility, because this.
Hello, Mustafa. Unfortunately, the network is not best of friends. Okay, Mustafa is back on the line. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the state have not been able to even give funding to NIA to undertake nationwide mop-up or registration that will enable every Ghanaian to have a Ghana card in order to be able to register without going through the guarantor system. Either to that, we still have the Ghana card, which people have used the guarantor system to procure. So are we going to then nullify that entire or those cards that were procured through guarantors? So there was practical inconsistency and lack of seriousness to the bill that was taken to Parliament. That is why the NDC kicked against it, and not the substance of issues that affect registration. The current issue now is that the Electoral Commission seems not to be prepared. Not to be prepared because we are recording machine breaks down, we are recording slow network, but they have gone into this activity time that they should have learned on the job. So if you are not ready, why assure the whole country? Is it that the President Akufo-Addo have failed to give logistical support to the Electoral Commission? But recently, the Electoral Commission met Council of Elders, Council of State, the Old Men's Committee, and assured them that it was ready for this exercise. Surprisingly, if the Electoral Commission can even lie to this group of old men, then, of course, as for us, he will not take us serious. That is why we are having this. Now, it also plays into the theory that MPP as a political party plus their government are not willing for more numbers to register, which is why we are going through this difficulty, because the more numbers that register, the more the people that will vote against the MPP in the coming election. So they want to regulate the numbers. All they are interested in is to be busing people from constituencies where they know they can strategically win and send people to those, they cannot win, and sending people to those places where they can win, which is what we are fighting to prevent. And that is why we've asked our party people to make sure they are present at registration centers to prevent the MPP from committing such atrocities. The ordinary residents for which the Constitution and the CI provides was for the purposes of ensuring that the people who elect their leaders are ordinarily resident to be beneficiaries of the services the people will provide. You don't go and rent crowd to come and choose a parliamentary candidate. We will not allow that to happen. That is what my brother Mohammed and his government are trying to do, but we will not allow that to see the light of day.
Okay, Mustafa, thank you very much. I wish you all the best and safe journey wherever you're going. And thank you very much for your time. Mustafa Gbandi is the deputy.
I'm grateful, and thank you to the Administrative General Secretary, Deputy General Secretary of the MPP.
Yeah, two of you, you're fine. Take you somewhere else. The two of you. You take your fight. You take your fight somewhere. Thank you very much, Mustafa Gbandi. His deputy, the two deputy general fight. No, Haruna.
Let them.
Okay, Haruna, what do you have to say?
Sabi, Gbandi is my friend. He is learning through me, and I believe that he will get the right processes through. However, for us, I just want him to know that we in the MPP, we don't need the Electoral Commission to pardon anything for us to win. We won massively in 2016 without the Electoral Commission.
It was a rigged election. President Akufo-Addo is a product of a rigged election.
You see, when you say this, you attack the integrity of your national chairman. He said so in court when he was asked of the results he compiled. He could not produce.
I'm attacking.
So you are the integrity of your own national chairman. So for me, I am very obvious that I will take very good care of you in the next Baumia government.
Mustafa, thank you. Haruna, thank you. The two Deputy General Secretaries of both the MPP and the NEC, Dr. Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary of the MPP, Mustafa Gbandi, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Sanda, you heard the two of them.
Yeah, I think it's good. They didn't attack each other. They had a few comments which were made in jest. Is helpful. But it's exciting to see that they are both interested. This is democracy we are building. So everything that they are doing is for the building of this very democracy that we have been working on. It's a 30-plus year democracy. It's still taking shape and form. America has over 200 years. Their democracy just elected Donald Trump recently as president. And it's likely that their democracy will elect Donald Trump behind bars, because by their law, you can be in prison and the law doesn't prevent you from running for office. So he may well be elected as a president who is operating from
Because he has
from
quite
prison.
a number of lawsuits against him.
Yeah, and he may maybe pardon himself from prison as a president and then move out. So Charlie, we haven't seen anything yet, but it's exciting. I'm happy, and I like the question you raised about the continuous registration thing. I think the EC has talked about it in the past. I'm not sure how in practice it is going to be. I don't know whether after today you can still walk leisurely to any center and go and register. But like you said, if I'm of age and I think I want to drive, I go to the DVLA and get a license. If I want health insurance, I go to the NHIS and go and get that. So what is wrong if I want a voter's card from going to EC? I should just go to my district office at the time of my choosing and say, I'm here to get an ID card. Let them check me. Birth certificate, they do that. So why can't I do that with my Electoral Commission? I think that should be the future. And maybe you don't even need to have a physical ID. Maybe very soon you should be able to do it on your phone. Now that we are doing a lot of digitization here and there, AI may possibly be able to produce your, or maybe they'll just send you your card, you print it wherever you are. People are voting by post and by mail. We can also get there. But I think it's been a great show. We have to go. Oh,
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Are you buying me lunch?
I saw you eating fufu with your my dear.
That was in the morning.
Leave man, you are eating fufu.
Sana, let's go.
People, that's how we end today's edition of the Citiuation Room. We came to you from our studios in Tesano in Accra. My name is Umaru Sandamado. I did this with Sami Uyafe. We'll return next week, Thursday. Stay with us. It's your world.
Thank you.